give you his explanation of the calamity. The next voice you hear will be that of Professor Pearson, brought to you by direct wire. Professor Pearson.
That was feedback. Of the creatures in the rocket cylinder at Grover's Mill, I can give you no authoritative information, either as to their nature, their origin, or their purposes here on Earth. A destructive instrument, I might venture some conjectural explanation. For want of a better term, I refer to the mysterious weapon as a heat ray. It's all too evident that these creatures have scientific knowledge far in advance of our own. My guess that in some way they are able to generate an intense heat in a chamber of practically absolute non-conductivity. This intense heat they project as in a parallel beam against any object they choose, but by means of a polished parabolic mirror of unknown composition, which is a mirror of a lighthouse projects a beam of light. That is my conjecture of the origin of this heat ray.
Thank you, Professor Pearson. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a bulletin from Trenton. It is a brief statement informing us that the charred body of Carl Phillips has been identified in a Trenton hospital. Now here's another bulletin from Washington, D.C. Office of the Director of the National Red Cross reports 10 units of the Red Cross emergency workers have been assigned to the headquarters of the state militia stationed outside Grover's Mill, New Jersey. Here's a bulletin from State Police, Princeton Junction. The fires at Grover's Mill and vicinity are now under control. Scouts report all quiet in the pit and no sign of life appearing from the mouths of the cylinder. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special statement from Mr. Harry McDonald, Vice President in charge of operations.
We have received a request from the militia at Trenton to place at their disposal our entire broadcasting facilities. In the view of the gravity of the situation and believing that the radio has responsibility to serve the public interest at all times, we are turning over our facilities to the state militia at Trenton.
We now take you to the field headquarters of the state militia near Grover's Mill, New Jersey. This is Captain Lansing of the Signal Corps, attached to the state militia, now engaged in military operations in the vicinity of Grover's Mill. Situation arising from the reported presence of certain individuals of unidentified nature is now under complete control. The cylindrical object, which lies in a pit directly below our position, is surrounded on all sides by 8 battalions of infantry, without heavy field pieces, but adequately armed with rifles and machine guns. All calls for alarm, if such calls ever existed, is now entirely unjustified. The things, whatever they are, do not even venture to poke their heads above the pit. I can see their hiding place blatantly in the glare of the searchlights here. With all the reported resources, these creatures can scarcely stand up against heavy machine gun fire. Anyway, it's an interesting outing for the troops. I can make out their khaki uniforms crossing back and forth in front of the lights. It almost looks like a real war. There appears to be some slight smoke in the woods bordering the Millstone River, probably fire started by campers. Well, we ought to see some action soon. One of the companies is deployed on the left flank. Quick thrust. A quick thrust and it'll all be over. And you believe that? Usually is.
It happens.
Yeah, sorry. Now wait a minute. I see something on top of the cylinder. No, it's nothing but a shadow. Now the troops are on the edge of the Wilmouth farm. 7,000 armed men closing in on an old metal tube. Wait, it wasn't a shadow. Something moving. Solid metal. Kind of shield-like after rising up out of the cylinder. It's going higher and higher. Why, it's standing on legs. Actually rearing up on a sort of metal framework. Now it's reaching above the trees and the searchlights are on it. Hold on!
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a grave announcement to make. Incredible as it may seem, both the observations of science and the evidence of our eyes lead to the inescapable assumption that those strange beings who landed in the Jersey farmlands tonight are the vanguard of an invading army from the planet Mars.
Dun dun dun.
The battle which took place tonight at Grover's Mill has ended in one of the most startling defeats ever suffered by any army in modern times. 7,000 men armed with rifles and machine guns pitted against a single fighting machine of the invaders from Mars. 120 known survivors. The rest, strewn over the battle area from Grover's Mill to Plainsburg, crushed and trampled to death under the metal feet of this monster, or burned to cinders by its heat ray. The monster is now in control of the middle section of New Jersey and has effectively cut the state through its center. Communication lines are down from Pennsylvania to the Atlantic Ocean. Railroad tracks are torn. Service from New York to Philadelphia discontinued except routing some of the trains through Allentown and Phoenixville. Highways to the north, south, and west are clogged in frantic human traffic. Police and Army reserves are unable to control the mad flight. By morning, the fugitives will have swelled Philadelphia, Camden, and Trenton. It's estimated to twice their normal population. At this time, martial law prevails throughout New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania. We take you now to Washington for a special broadcast on the national emergency, the Secretary of the Interior.
Hi, everyone. This is your Secretary of the Interior. How are you doing? All right, citizens of the nation, I'll try not to conceal the gravity of the situation that confronts the country or the concern of your government in protecting the lives and the property of its people. However, I wish to impress upon you, private citizens and public officials, all of you, the urgent need of calm and resourceful action. Fortunately, this formidable enemy is still confined to a comparatively small area, like New Jersey, and we may place our faith in the military forces to keep them there. In the meantime, placing our faith in God, we must continue the performance of our duties, each and every one of us, so that we may confront this destructive adversary with a nation united, courageous, and consecrated to the preservation of human supremacy on this earth. Thank you.
You have just heard the Secretary of the Interior. Speaking from Washington, bulletins too numerous to read are piling up here in the studio. We are informed the central portion of New Jersey is blacked out from radio communication due to the effect of the heat wave on power lines and electrical equipment. Here is a special bulletin from New York. Cables received from English, French, German scientific bodies offering assistance. Astronomers report continued gas outbursts at regular intervals on the planet Mars. Majority voice opinion, the enemy will be reinforced by additional rocket machines. Attempts made to locate Professor Pearson of Princeton, who has observed Martians at close range. It's feared he was lost in the recent battle. Langman Field, Virginia. Scouting planes report 3 Martian machines visible above treetops, moving north towards Somerville with population fleeing ahead of them. Heat ray not in use, although advancing at express train speed. Invaders picked their way carefully. They seem to be making conscious efforts to avoid destruction of cities and countryside. However, they stopped to uproot power lines, bridges, and railroad tracks. Their apparent objective is to crush resistance, paralyze communication, and disorganize human society. Here's a bulletin now from Basking Ridge, New Jersey. Coon hunters have stumbled upon a second cylinder similar to the first embedded in the Great Swamp 20 miles south of Morristown. Army field pieces are proceeding Newark to blow up second invading unit before cylinder can be opened and the fighting machine rigged. They are taking a position now in the foothills of Watchkin Mountain. The mountain. Another bulletin from Lyman Field, Virginia. Scouting planes report enemy machines, now 3 in number, increasing speed northward, kicking over houses and trees in their evident haste to form a conjunction with their allies south of Morristown. Machines also sighted by telephone operators east of Middlesex within 10 miles of Plainfield. Here's a bulletin now from Whiston Field, Long Island. Fleet of Army bombers carrying heavy explosive flying north in pursuit of enemy. Scouting planes act as guides. They keep speeding enemy in sight. Just a moment please, ladies and gentlemen. We've run special wires now to the artillery line in adjacent villages to give you direct reports in the zone of the advancing enemy. First, we take you to the battery of the 22nd Field Artillery located in the Watchkin Mountains.
Range 32 meters.
32 meters.
Projection 39 degrees.
39 degrees.
Fire!
140 yards to the right, sir.
Ship range 31 meters.
31 meters.
Projection 37 degrees.
37 degrees.
Fire!
Hit, sir. We got the tripod on one of them. They've stopped. The others are trying to repair it.
Quick, get to the range. Shift 30 meters.
30 meters.
Projection 27 degrees.
27 degrees.
Fire!
Can't see the shell land, sir. They're letting off a smoke.
What is it?
A black smoke, sir. Moving this way, lying close to the ground. It's moving fast.
Put on gas masks. Get ready to fire. Shift 24 meters.
24 meters.
Projection 24 degrees.
24 degrees.
Still can't see it, sir. The smoke's coming nearer.
Get the range.
23 meters. Projection 22 degrees.
20.
This segment brought to you by Marlboro. Army bombing plane 4863, whatever this says, of Bayonne, New Jersey. Lieutenant Voigt, commanding 8 bombers, reporting to Commander Fairfax Langham Field. This is Voigt, reporting to Commander Fairfax Langham Field. I know I said that, but I'd like to repeat myself. Enemy tripod now in sight, reinforced by 3 machines from the Morristown cylinder. 6 altogether. 1 machine is already crippled, believed hit by shell from Army gun at Watchton Mountains. Guns now appear silent. A heavy black fog hanging close to the earth, of extreme density. Nature unknown. No sign of heat ray. Enemy now turns east, passing Passaic River to Jersey marshes. Another straddles the Pulaski Skyway. The evident objective is New York City. They're pushing down a high-tension power station. The machines are close together now and we're ready to attack. Planes circling, ready to strike. 1,000 yards and we'll be over the first. 800 yards. 600. 400. 200. There they go! The giant arm raised! Green flash! They're spraying us with flames! 2,000 feet! Engine given out! No chance to release bombs! Only one thing left! Drop on them, plane and all! We're diving on the first one! Now the engine's gone! 8! This is Bayonne, New Jersey calling Langham Field. This is Bayonne, New Jersey calling Langham Field. Come in, please.
This is Langham Field. Go ahead.
8 Army bombers in engagement with enemy tripod machines over Jersey Flats. Engines incapacitated by heat ray. All crashed. 1 enemy machine destroyed. Enemy now discharging heavy black smoke in direction of... This is Newark, New Jersey. This is Newark, New Jersey. Warning. Poisonous black smoke pouring in from Jersey marshes. Reaches South Street. Gas masks useless. Urge population to move into open spaces. Automobiles use Route 7, 23, 24. Avoid congested areas. Smoke now spreading over Raymond Boulevard.
2X2L, calling CQ. 2X2L, calling CQ. 2X2L, calling 8X3R. Come in, please.
Yeah, this is 8X3R. Back at 2X2L.
How's the reception? How's reception? Why are we still using AT&T? Kate, please. Where are you, 8X3R? What's the matter? Where are you?
Ding, 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 ding.
I'm speaking to you from the roof of the broadcast building, New York City. The bells you hear are ringing to warn people to evacuate the city as the Martians approach. Estimated in the last 2 hours, 3 million people have moved out along the roads to the north. Hutchison River Parkway is still kept open for motor traffic. Avoid bridges to Long Island, hopelessly jammed. All communication with Jersey Shore closed 10 minutes ago. That is the Jersey Shore.
Snooky's really upset.
No more defenses. Our army wiped out. Artillery, Air Force, everything wiped out. This may be the last broadcast. We'll stay here to the end. People are holding services below us now in the cathedral. Now I look down the harbor. All manner of boats overloaded with fleeing population. Pulling out, streets are all jammed. Noise and crowds like New Year's Eve in the city. Whoa, wait a minute. Enemy now in sight above the Palisades. Five great machines. First one is crossing river. I can see it from here. Wading the Hudson like a man wading through a brook. A bulletin's handed me. Martian cylinders are falling all over the country. One outside Buffalo, one in Chicago, St. Louis. Seem to be timed in space. Now the first machine reaches the shore. He stands there watching, looking over the city. His steel, cowlish head and even with the skyscrapers. He waits for the others. They rise like a line of new towers on the city's west side. Now they're lifting their metal hands. Oh, this is the end now. Smoke comes out, black smoke, drifting over the city. People in the streets see it now. They're running towards the East River, thousands of them, dropping like rats. Now the smoke's spreading faster. It's reached Times Square. People trying to run away from it, but it's no use. They're falling like flies. Now the smoke's crossing 6th Avenue, 5th Avenue. 100 yards away. It's 50 feet.
2x2L calling CQ. 2x2L calling CQ. 2x2L calling CQ. New York! Isn't there anyone on the air? Isn't there anyone on the air? Isn't there anyone? 2x2L.
You are listening to a CBS presentation of Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the air, and an original dramatization of The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. This performance will continue after a brief intermission. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. As I set down these notes on paper, I'm obsessed with the thought that I may be the last living man on Earth. I've been hiding in this empty house near Grover's Mill, a small island, daylight cut off by the black smoke from the rest of the world. All that happened before the arrival of these monstrous creatures in the world now seems another part of another life. A life that has no continuity with the present. Furtive existence on the lonely, derelict pencils these words on the back of some astronomical notes bearing the signature of Richard Pearson. I look down at my blackened hands, my torn shoes, my tattered clothes. I try to connect them with a professor who lives in Princeton, and who on the night of October 30th glimpsed through his telescope at an orange splash of light in a distant planet. My wife, my colleagues, students, my folks, my observatory, my world. Where are they? Did they ever exist? Am I Richard Pearson? What day is it? Do days exist without calendars? Does time pass when there are no human hands left to wind the clocks? In writing down my daily life, I tell myself I shall preserve human history between the dark covers of this old book that was meant to record the movements of the stars. But to write I must live, and to live I must eat. I find moldy bread in the kitchen, and an orange not too spoiled to swallow. I keep watch at the window. Time to time I catch sight of a Martian above the black smoke. The smoke still holds the house in its black coil. But at length there is a hissing sound, and suddenly I see a Martian mounted on his machine, spraying the air with a jet of steam as if to dissipate the smoke. I watch in a corner as his huge metal legs nearly brush against the house. Exhausted by terror, I fall asleep. It's morning. Morning. Sun streams in the window. The black cloud of gas has lifted. The scorched meadows of the north look as though a black snowstorm has passed over them. A venture from the house.